Hi, Joanne Corley-Swarscoff here once again. I've been wanting to make this video for so long. I have used a particular framework for understanding human behavior in my business context for a number of years. And I've not really, and related to understanding teams, understanding yourself as a leader, manager, etc. But I've not really put it in a context of what our overriding theme has been for this month. And make sure you see the wrap-up video that talks about how I'm going to be doing themes each month. And this theme this month has been personal effectiveness. And so I wanted to combine that theme with a very popular search, and that is personal development, self-improvement, personal improvement, etc. Very popular search, and I know that this formula, I call it the Me and Team, Human Behavior 101, Understanding Me, is going to help people identify how to break down exactly what to target to either improve, grow, get better. And by the way, in this video, I'm also going to do a nuanced definition of self-improvement and self-development, because there is a little bit of a difference there. So I wanted to provide this framework as a basis for any plans that you want to make for self-improvement, personal development going into the month of July. We're in the middle of the year already. Can you believe it's the middle of 2023? So want to make sure that you have some tools in place so that you can just have more of the life you want. Okay, let's get started with looking at the framework. Okay, we're going to look at a framework on how to build understanding about yourself, because if you want to be devoted to personal improvement or personal development, we'll go through the nuances of those two here in just a minute. It would be helpful to sort of get a sense of how do I understand how I operate as a human being. In almost every course coaching that I do, this is a framework that I use just to break it down to make it easier. Now, some people might find this overly simplistic, but it is simple enough to get a grasp of how I operate as a human being, so that I can start to identify not only building understanding about myself, but what area or what I might want to target if I want to grow or change something. So this is what I call the Me and Team formula, the Understanding Me, how people operate one-on-one. I've called it a lot of different things. For our purposes, this is just a basic of what every human being needs to know in terms of understanding themselves. So every day we encounter events and experiences, and they could be the same, they could be different. But what happens is our brain is actually a personal filter. It becomes the lens, it creates the lens by which we see things. Now, that personal filter is comprised of several different things. It's primarily comprised of your natural wiring, how your brain is naturally wired. Some people call that personality. It's a lot of things comprised in that natural wiring. That natural wiring, by the way, also includes natural interests, things you're attracted to, aptitudes, those sorts of things. It also includes life experience. And your life experience is channeled, filtered through your natural wiring. Now, your life experience then creates and shapes your beliefs, what you value, what you determine to be most important, and all of that becomes a conditioning process. Conditioning means reinforcing what you see, what you believe, and what you value. And those can become hardwired. So initially, when you're born, you have a natural wiring, and then your life experience then begins to condition your beliefs and your values. Now, if you've had a limited life experience, then your conditioning will be pretty limited. If you have a broad life experience, your conditioning could be very flexible because you're experiencing new things, all the time. So that is an interesting perspective, that the broader your life experience, the more broader it's going to shape your beliefs and your values, what you see and believe. If you have a very constricted life experience, then your beliefs and your values will be limited as well. Now, when you have events and experiences, that filter then produces thoughts and triggers. Now, triggers are activated elements from your subconscious, because all of your life experience is embedded in your subconscious. All of your memories are there and are resting there and can be triggered through a stimulus, a event or experience at any time. You can be triggered today with something that happened to you 10 or 20 years ago. Also, too, thoughts can be triggered from past experience, and that are habitual thoughts, conditioned thoughts. So you can have new thoughts or you can have conditioned thoughts. Those thoughts and those triggers usually generate some sort of energy, an emotion, or a feeling. Those too can be automated responses. Automated meaning conditioned responses. You could have habitual thoughts. You can have habitual feelings. Those are what I call default reactions, default emotional reactions to certain events and experiences. The thoughts and the emotions then generate decisions, and that could be fast, that could be slow, it could be over a period of time. There's a range in terms of the time frame of how all of this takes place. And then those decisions end up generating your actions, what you say and what you do, basically how you behave. How you behave ends up being your life results. Now, what's interesting about life conditioning, another important thing to know, is related to your natural wiring. Life conditioning can either suppress or enhance your natural wiring, which also includes your capabilities. As I said before, your aptitudes, your gifts, your talents. And your capabilities, your gifts, and your talents are the core source of your personal power, your self-esteem, how you feel about yourself, your capabilities to enter and live in the world successfully, sources of happiness. All of that is conditioned and suppressed or enhanced through your life experience and your life conditioning. Now, the question then becomes, in personal development, personal improvement is what has happened here getting you what you want here? And I'm going to guess that probably for the most part, yes. However, if people are seeking personal improvement or self-improvement or self-development, they probably want either something different or something more. And more is different, but sometimes it's not. And I'll go into this in a second. Sometimes you don't want more of the same, you want different, and sometimes you want more of the same. So it could be either one. And that's what I mean by the fact that, first of all, you need to see that if you want to change your life result, the best way to do that is start internally through these elements. So these are things you want to look at and either cultivate, change, or grow more of if you want a different life result. So sources of change or improvement will create a different life result. And the key is the internal changes how you experience the external experiences. So the internal changes your experience with the external. If you don't change these things, sometimes these things are forced changes because of the experience, and some are chosen changes because of the experience. So it's all a matter of what you want. If you are reacting to things and you don't like the results that are happening, you don't like the actions of what you say and do, then you're going to want to change something here so that you don't have the same result. For example, I used to get personally triggered by things that someone said, and then I decided, I don't want to be controlled by that event and that trigger. So I'm going to consciously change my reactions, my thoughts, and my feelings to that particular event, that particular stimulus. And it literally changed the quality of my life because I took control of that to change these things so that my internal could have a different experience with the external. So that's just a simple example. Now, when we look at the concept of self-improvement and self-development, I want to just make a nuanced observation about that because these are very popular search terms, the things that people are seeking, and I think breaking this down just a little bit can be very helpful. Self-improvement is about making or becoming better in something. The very word improve means make or become better. Develop, though, means to grow or cause to grow and become more advanced, mature. Now, in some respects, these are the same. However, here's the nuanced difference. Grow doesn't necessarily mean better. You can grow, you can develop anger, you can develop a bad habit, you can develop a reaction to something that gets out of control. So development doesn't necessarily equal better. And that's really an important piece here. Developing something doesn't automatically equate to an improvement. Okay? So when you're thinking about self-improvement and self-development, you want to ask yourself these questions. Under self-improvement, you want to ask yourself, what do you want to make better? And then the second question to that would be, what will you need to stop or start to make that overall thing better? So you can see already the difference between improvement and development. Now, under self-development, you might want to ask yourself the question, what's already in the place that you want more of? So those are the questions related to self-improvement and self-development. So under improvement, what do you want to make better, and then what will you need to stop or start? And then in development, it's what do you want more of in terms of what do you want to grow? And those are the nuances you want to make. So I would say if you're going on a journey, asking yourself, differentiating between improvement and development is something very important that you'll want to do. Okay, there you have it. That is the personal development, the Understanding Me framework. And so you can see that if you wanted to change a life result, you can focus on your thinking, focus on your emotional reactions to something, focus on the decisions or choices you make because of that. And I know that that's a great place for you to begin to start to craft some improvement. Now, again, I'm going to recommend using the Time Coach because that's the tool that's going to help you build awareness around your thinking, your feelings, your decisions, your choices, and that's really going to be the bedrock or the foundation or the springboard for helping you to improve and to develop whatever it is that you target to do so. So I'm here to help you rock your story and rock your talent, and I encourage you to subscribe so that you can continue to have more of the life that you really want.